Hello and welcome to another episode of Gully Cricket to Bouncy Wicket podcast. I am your host Srinivas.
Hi, this is Manoj.
Today we are going to discuss four matches, Manoj. So without any further delay, let's start. First match, RCB versus SRH. Sunrisers Hyderabad won the toss and opted to bowl. And RCB has one obvious change, which is like Padikkal was match fit and Rajat Patidar was out of the squad. And coming to SRH has done two changes. Jason Holder and Shabaz Nadeem has been considered into team, and Mohammad Nabi and Sandeep Sharma, who had a bad previous match, has been left out of the team. So, your thoughts on squads, Manoj?
I think that was a logical move by RCB to bring back Devdutt Padikkal. He's their best opener, and he can be explosive at the start. So it was logical to bring him back. And I think the same applies to SRH as well. Nabi didn't do well in the last match, and also Sandeep Sharma. So they brought in the all-rounder Jason Holder and also Shabaz Nadeem, who can bowl those really tight overs and keep the run rate under check.
Moreover, Devdutt Padikkal was in red hot form in Vijay Hazare Trophy. It's no brainer to bring him back once he is fit. RCB started batting and they had a pretty good start, I would say. I mean, Kohli and Devdutt Padikkal, I think they have put around 20 runs opening stand, and then surprisingly Shabaz Ahmed has come into batting. Not a bad score, you would say. They got 47 in the power play.
No, I expected them to score a little over 160, but then a good performance by SRH to keep them under 150. I think they backed themselves to get this score, but unfortunately, due to some bad batting, they fell short.
I think Kohli's batting was with Ignis spinners has been continuing. I'm not sure when he is going to resolve that or when he is going to be top on them, but I'm sure this is going to be a big concern for RCB going forward. Yeah, again, they have set a trap. They know very well that once AB de Villiers come, they have to bowl Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan came and then he took his wicket. They pulled back the innings a little. RCB had a decent start. I would say SRH has pulled back the innings with Rashid Khan's good overs. Though Maxwell, he struck at one end. Amazing to see. I don't remember when in previous seasons Maxwell has played such innings. He struck at one end and made sure they got may not be very competitive, but still they got a pretty decent total, especially seeing what happened in the previous match between MI and KKR in the same ground. So they would have taken some confidence going into the bowling. What do you think, Manoj?
Yes, I think let's talk about Kohli's form first. I mean, it's not something to be really worried about. I think it's just a matter of time. Maybe 150 will do him a world of good, and then he can come back to form. Yes, he has to address some issues, but then I think a player of that class will surely address that. So here we have to talk about Maxwell, how well he's proving himself, coming back. I mean, we thought that he'd do well, but then taking the team to 150 is only because of him. Had he not played, they would have ended up at maybe 100 or 110 in those 20 overs. So I think it's a great comeback from RCB to reach to 150.
Yeah, Manoj. Let's get into SRH batting. Saha got out very quickly. Or I think here when we talk about RCB bowling or SRH batting, we have to talk about Mohammad Siraj definitely. Like the initial 2 or 3 overs, he amazing piece of if you can say it's a test match bowling, I would say pitch was assisting and Mohammad Siraj has exploited the situation very well. He got the wicket of Saha as well, and he haven't given much of runs in the first 2 overs. I think he gave few runs later part, but he started very well, especially considering that they are defending a small total. And then David Warner and Manish Pandey has anchored the innings and they took forward. It was all but search match till the David Warner got out, right? At the end of 10 overs also, they were at pretty good score. And when the David Warner got out, they were at 96 at 13 overs, right? The 13.2 David Warner got out. And from there on, they just need, 50 odd runs in 7 overs. So Manoj, what happened thereafter?
I think it's the lack of, I would say, handling the pressure. I mean, we are talking about players like Abdul Samad, Vijay Shankar, who have done really well at the international level. I think players of their caliber should have really played smartly, because it was not, I would say, impossible situation. It was a gettable score. I mean, it was a collapse. I would say they should learn from this and do better in their future matches. At 13 overs with only two wickets down, it was an easy match in their hands. So I would say a better handling of pressure would help this team to get back into form, if you ask me.
Definitely, Manoj. I think someone has to take more responsibility at SRH. Definitely, there is one more match. We are going to talk about it in few minutes. But coming to this match, I think it's 1 day or 2 days before MI has played KKR on the same ground for a low total, and we all have seen how MI has defended it. Why KKR has lost? They have got the match pressure. They have match winners like Dinesh Karthik and Russell playing, but still they lost the match because of the pressure only. Definitely RCB would have took the inspiration from MI from the previous match to defend that total, but I don't know what SRH have, whether SRH has seen the match, and it's very similar collapse that has happened. I think RCB was waiting for that Warner wicket. Warner got out, and after that it's big collapse. And especially we have to mention about Shabaz Ahmed here. 17th over he bowled and he just gave 1 run and 3 wickets, and it all changed the game.
True. I think we have to credit the RCB bowlers as well. I mean, the problem with SRH now is they are relying too much on their foreign players. I think it's time for the local players to step up and show, we also can win matches for you. That sort of confidence should be given to their captain as well. I mean, at the moment, Warner is taking all the burden. I think it should be the other way around, right? I mean, all the local players also should,
especially with an Indian cap player like Manish Pandey playing for them at 1 down. I think he should take more responsibility. And the way he scored, like he got 38 runs of 39 balls. I think he was there till 16th over, and there is no point when you are coming in the first or second over and staying there till 16th over and striking at less than 100. I think
true, absolutely. I mean, if a player has played 30 plus balls, then he's already set. In an IPL game, in a T20 game, that means you're already set and seeing the ball pretty well, and then from there on you have to really take off. It's no point playing runner ball, playing at number 3.
And if I'm looking at a stat for Manish Pandey, so Manish Pandey has batted 30 plus balls 14 times in last 4 seasons since 2018, and SRH have ended losing up 11 times out of 14 times. So it's definitely something Manish Pandey has to work on. Like when someone is batting 30 plus balls, definitely it should be a match winning innings. Otherwise, no point hanging in there. And SRH losing 11 out of 14 times is pathetic.
Yeah, that's an amazing fact, by the way.
Yeah. And one more stat here is SRH collapses in run chases in IPL since 2019. So they had a similar collapse 4 times last 2 seasons. They lost 8 wickets for 15 runs versus DC once. They lost 8 wickets for 32 runs against RCB last year in Dubai. And they lost, I think collapse happened 2 times in the last season itself. And in the last season, again, there was one more instance where they lost 7 wickets for 14 runs, and this match they lost 7 wickets for 29 runs. This is something definitely they have to work out.
I hope they are aware of these facts, and they should really look at how they can improve, handle the pressure better, and come out of these difficult situations.
Yeah, and by the way, thanks to Crickbuzz for these amazing stats. Let's move forward to the next match, which is your favorite team, Rajasthan Royals and Delhi Capitals. Yeah, getting into the match, Rajasthan Royals won the toss and opted to bowl. I think till this point, every team that has won the toss has opted to bowl. There were few instances where team winning first has won, but still team winning the toss has opted to bowl, considering due factor and T20 format as such, like we had discussed in the previous episode. So getting into RR squad, they have made 2 changes. One forced change, of course. Ben Stokes is not fit, so they have gone with David Miller as a replacement. And considering where they are playing, I think they've made pretty good change of bringing in Jaydev Unadkat to Shreyas Gopal. So, and coming to DC squad, I think they have made two changes again. They got Lalit Yadav and Rabada into team. Hetmeyer has missed for Rabada and Amit Mishra has missed for Lalit Yadav. So, Manoj, your thoughts on squads?
Yeah, obviously it's a forced change, like you said, for Rajasthan Royals. They would really miss Stokes because he's an amazing all-rounder. So they brought in David Miller and also Jaydev Unadkat, who like we discussed in the preview of Rajasthan Royals. If Rajasthan has to really do well, Unadkat is the key. So they brought him back. And coming to DC, obviously,
but few fans are quite upset that Unadkat was playing. Maybe they were still remembering what he has done in previous seasons or what he has done in RPS when Dhoni was captain. And so yeah, I mean, but still he proved everyone wrong, right? So let's move on.
Coming to DC, obviously Rabada will get his place back. This is an expected change, and they brought in Lalit Yadav in place of Amit Mishra. I think I'm not sure what the strategy was for DC.
No, see the strategy both RR and MI followed there was they don't want more spinners on that pitch. Yeah, they were playing in Mumbai, right? Yeah, RR and this match has been played in Mumbai. So it was not much of spinner's pitch. So both the teams has followed the same strategy that they have removed one spinner. And there is a fun fact about this Lalit Yadav. So what if I say he has hit 6 sixes in an over? This guy Lalit Yadav has a record of 6 sixes.
Wow! In domestic cricket, is it?
Yeah. So okay. So that's not the end of it. What if I say he has done that 2 times?
My God! Oh,
this guy Lalit Yadav has hit 6 sixes 2 times. Of course, both are like kind of local matches, but played in a pretty decent ground. Once he has hit in Arun Jaitley Stadium itself. So both are Delhi local matches. He's a Delhiite. So this guy has 2 6 sixes record.
Wow. No wonder they picked him instead of Amit.
Yeah, because he was picked ahead of Ripal Patel also. Like Ripal Patel is another young Indian batsman they are having, and who was also a very explosive batsman. So this guy has been picked ahead of him, and then I kind of researched about this guy and found out this 2 times 6 sixes record. So let's get into match, Manoj. So Delhi Capitals started batting, and what it was quite a mirror kind of image to their previous match. Their previous match, Dhawan and Prithvi Shah has batted completely. So their middle order or lower order was not exposed, and that was pretty comfortable match for them. But here, man, Jaydev Unadkat has ripped apart. I would say, like, the kind of pitch assistance that he has got. I think he took all the key wickets, right? He took Prithvi Shah, he took Dhawan, he took Rahane, and Pant was run out from a beautiful throw by Riyan Parag. And I mean, it's amazing the way the Delhi Capitals has started was pathetic, and it was amazing for Rajasthan Royals. Your thoughts on Delhi Capitals batting, Manoj?
Before that, I was really looking forward to this match because it was a close game for RR the last match, and they would be really looking, hungry for a win. And oh boy, they performed really well, right? I mean, how well Unadkat has bowled this match. They desperately needed a performance like that to, up their spirits. If you see the first 3 wickets Unadkat has picked up, obviously they were the star performance in the last match, right? So obviously, like you said, the middle order was exposed too early, and then they couldn't handle it. Barring Pant's amazing 51 of 32 balls. And
I think he played a captain's innings. Really, he tried his best to get DC out of that situation. If not for Pant, definitely they would not have reached what they have reached as well. But ultimately 147 on a Mumbai pitch is not enough. Like, it's not a Chennai pitch, right? The other 2 matches of low scoring 150s, 150s, 160s are on Chennai pitch. This is on a batting friendly Mumbai pitch, and definitely it's not enough, but they have put something to fight at least. That's what I would say.
True. And just a word on Riyan Parag's run out. Had he not, had they not taken Pant's wicket, who knows? They could have scored 170, 175, which could have proved
definitely,
too much for
because
RR,
Pant
right?
got out in 13th over itself. Had Pant been there for another 7 overs, it would have been completely different story.
Yeah, I'm mighty impressed with this young talent, Riyan Parag. He,
Not with
amazing
his
fielder.
dance, only with his cricketing talent.
Right. Yes. Yes. Of course. That was a nice move as well. Nice dance move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, it's amazing talent, and really looking forward him, coming up the ranks and playing for India as well.
Yeah, definitely, Manoj. So again, you are fan of Rajasthan Royals. I don't want to take your thunder. So take us through Rajasthan Royals batting also.
Say they had a pretty bad start. Butler, Vora, they got out very quickly, and then Sanju also, a bad shot. I would say at that he was going for a drive which was away from the body. So I think it Vokes bowled really well. I was swinging the ball and well complimented by Rabada. Once Sanju got out, right, I switched off my TV. I was so disappointed. But then,
see, I don't want to
yeah.
jump on Sanju Samson so early, but last episode also I've mentioned with Raja that consistency has been a big issue for Sanju Samson, and he need to work out that.
Yeah, I mean, David Miller. Oh boy, I mean, he really repaid the faith the team is showing in him, right? What a comeback. I mean, it's been a while since he played an innings like this. Seriously, he if not for him, they would have really lost the match. And also Chris Morris, he took the team home, right?
Yeah, I think David Miller was the reason why Chris Morris in the first place has got a chance to finish. Otherwise, there is no chance at all for Chris Morris to come and hit those sixes.
True. So all in all, only few good performances when it comes to batting, but I think they will be hungry and looking to improve the next.
Definitely, Manoj. One talking point that everyone is talking about this match, like Pant's captaincy or Pant's bowling changes, because Ashwin bowled really good overs, and with still 1 hour left for him, Pant has brought in Stoinis in 13th over, and Stoinis haven't bowled till then. That was his first over. Match was in very crucial juncture, and he would have given to Ashwin, and he has brought in Stoinis, and then that over went for 15 runs, and it has changed the entire match momentum. Even if I see segment-wise run rate for Rajasthan Royals innings, for the first 6 overs, their run rate was 4.3. For the next 5 overs, that is 7 to 11 overs, their run rate was 6. From 12 to 16, their run rate is 9.8. Starting from this over they took on, and again 17 to end of the match it was 11.25. So anyway, their run rate doesn't matter in 17 to 20 over, but still, like if I see the subsequent overs to the Stoinis over, they scored 12, 5, 15, 9, 7, 15 and 14. So it has changed the momentum of entire match. And with 26 runs required of the last 12 balls, Chris Morris has hit 4 sixes in the last 2 overs, and he took his team home. Like last match, Sanju Samson has denied him single and he hasn't given him strike, and he proved why. It doesn't mean he would have hit 6 then also, but still, like, he has proved his worth one more time, right? What do you say about it?
True. I mean, first of all, I would not be so critical of Pant's captaincy because it's still early days for him. Mistakes can happen, but I think he will learn from this. And I mean, even in the hindsight, Ricky Ponting has also admitted that they should have given one more over to Ashwin, and that who knows would have changed the equation of the game. Right. Chris Morris, like you said, was denied a single. I think Sanju now would have given apology after this match. So amazing cricketer. Just doing justice to
what he has been paid for.
Exactly. Yeah. True.
Definitely. And he accepted the fact that, they have purchased him to slog and his job is to do the slogging. And he did that.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's hope that RR will take this momentum going forward. And let's move on to next match, Punjab Kings versus Chennai Super Kings. I like this match very much, Manoj. Like the way they have managed the time. I like the time sense. Like first innings was finished at 9 o'clock. They have allowed us to sleep at 10:30 or 10:45 at least, unlike other matches. So I got a good sleep one day, and even they are allowing us to finish the podcast early because there is nothing much to talk about this. So there. So we have 4 matches to talk today, and they're allowing us to finish it off, in stipulated time, like thanks to CSK versus Punjab match. So, true. I mean, I don't know what to say about this, Manoj. The same Punjab team who has scored 220 runs the other day. So,
yes.
They have scored 106. So don't know what to say. Like,
I think they have shown their flip side. I mean, if a team doesn't click, what happens? They've showed, I think, right? I mean, you'd be very happy that CSK has won. I mean, CSK has been clinical. Has been clinical in this match, right? Everything worked for
and
them.
Deepak Chahar, man. I mean, absolute. I mean, amazing talent. Like, I have one player, Manoj, to choose between Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur in my fantasy league. Okay, it was after the task. I had about 30 minutes to do whatever changes I need. I have one player to choose, Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur, and I took Shardul Thakur in my team. I haven't picked. I don't know what to say. Like, I thought, okay, this guy, the basic thinking was Deepak Chahar may not get too many wickets. He may go for tight overs. He'll give normally less runs. But always Shardul Thakur has a knack of picking wickets in the middle overs. So I thought, okay, let's go with Shardul Thakur. But I think it's a face palm situation for me, and I don't know what to say. But amazing bowling, man. The way the Mayank Agarwal got out, what a beautiful ball to see. Like,
yes. I mean, you pay to watch cricket like that, right? I mean, what a delivery to get him to get Mayank Agarwal out. It pitched on middle and off, and then swinging away. I mean, great ball.
I think this is the best. These conditions are the best possible conditions for Deepak Chahar to bowl. Basically, a little bit of grass and a little bit of movement on the pitch.
He will be at his best if offered, if he's offered with these conditions. Agree. And he ended up with 4 overs, 13 runs with economy of 3 and 4.
Yeah, wickets. And he bowled all the 4 overs straight away, like up front. He finished his quota of bowling.
Finished his spell, yeah.
Yeah, and not to forget about Jadeja's run out to get KL Rahul, man. I mean, Jadeja is back. I'm so happy that Jadeja is back.
Yes.
Not for CSK,
Pity
but
that he didn't
India.
Get the A+ grade contract. Everybody's talking about it now. Michael Vaughan and everybody.
Yeah.
But he deserves it. He deserves it.
He definitely deserves it more than anyone else. But yeah, they are having only 3 players into that category. But I mean, that is not a measure of anything for him, for his talent, or for his contribution to the team. So I'm so happy that he's bowling well. He batted well. Of course, not to a full length. He batted for 30-40 balls, but whatever little opportunity that he has got, he has batted well in the previous match. He bowled. He started bowling some good overs. He had a pretty bad IPL last year in with ball, but he's back in game again, and he's back in the fielding and amazing. So one I think only point that we have to talk about here is Shah Rukh Khan, I think.
Yep. The only bright spot. Yep.
Yeah, only bright spot. Amazing talent. And in those crunch situation, I think scoring at 130 is amazing. Like, I'm sure someone scoring at 100 or 80, 90s and taking the match deep is fine. But I think amazing batting from Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah. I mean, we also have to talk about how Pooran got out. How it was amazing how he was set up, right? I mean,
true.
They had put a field, and they planned that short ball, and he played the ball, and he got out.
They even haven't given him time to come and settle in, right? I think that was his second ball.
Second ball that he got out. Yeah. I mean, this is a match awareness, right? You analyze the players, what are their weak points, and CSK have done that. They were spot on in this game. And talking about Shah Rukh Khan, amazing talent. I mean, one of the shots that really impressed me is that on the rise, I think it was a cover drive on the rise. What a shot. I'm a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan from now on. I think he will be a regular in this side, right? With this performance, they will make him a regular.
Of course. He'll be very regular in this team, and we are allowed to see Preeti Zinta and Shah Rukh Khan together. So why not?
That's a good one.
So let's move on to Chennai's batting, Manoj. So Rituraj Gaikwad had, I don't know, like after the last IPL, he had I would say bad Syed Mushtaq Ali and bad Vijay Hazare Trophy. And I thought once the IPL starts, he'll pick up. But first match also, he failed to score and he was unable to. Yep. I mean, I don't know. He was unable to time and he got 5 runs of the 16 balls. But still, like, it's a free match. You can say there is no pressure at all. But yeah, I mean, nothing much to talk about Chennai's batting. And Moeen Ali, again, whatever he has done in the first match, his job is to come and get runs in the middle overs. I think he has done that very well. One, I think I have two concerns here on Chennai's batting, Manoj. Teams would definitely try short ball against Raina. I'm not sure when he's going to come out of that weakness. I think for few years that has been his weakness. First match he haven't faced much of short balls, but this match he has come and they've started bowling short and he got out. That is going to be one concern for me. Another concern is when Dhoni is going to come and bat. When is he going to get game time? I'm not sure. Last match he has come and he has tried to pull that and then he got out. Fine. I mean, this is no pressure match. If you ask me, after Moeen Ali got out, Dhoni would have come and played some balls there, get some time. Understood, like he might want to play a different role. I think this was the opportunity for him to get some time in the middle. I think they missed that trick. What do you think about it?
I don't know what's going on in Dhoni's mind. Maybe he's thinking, if my team does all the batting, if they score runs, I'll be happy. Maybe he's thinking like that. I'm not sure, but overall, I would say Ruturaj Gaikwad is not in his best of the forms. I think they will give him a couple of more opportunities.
Maybe one or two. I don't think they should give more for him because they have Robin Uthappa sitting in the dugout. Even Pujara was waiting for a chance, and they have N. Jagdishan waiting in the dugout. N. Jagdishan was the top scorer in Shahid Mushtaq Ali for Tamil Nadu, and he's waiting in the dugout. So I don't think he'll get more than one or two chances, or he should get more than one or two because they have players waiting there. And so let's move on to our next match. So another SRH match, another low scoring match. So Mumbai Indians has won the toss and they have opted to bat. So this is the first time a team winning the toss has elected to bat. So MI has done one change. They have replaced Adam Milne with Marco Johnson. So other than that, they went with pretty much same team, and SRH has done 4 changes. So they have brought in Virat Singh, they have got in Abhishek Sharma, they got Mujibur Rahman and Khalil Ahmed into the team, and Shahbaz Nazim has been left, Natarajan has been left, Saha has been left, and Jason Holder. So before talking all this, Manoj, I just want to quote something from David Warner from the toss. We have made 4 changes, can't remember the names, got a look at team's sheet. So I'm not sure is it the right way to say, or it may not be a big thing, but still, like, you have 4 players coming into the team. At least you can say the people coming into the team, right?
True. I would say, you got to remember your players, right? That's the job of the captain. You're the captain, and you should know.
And they were together already for 2 weeks. It's not your first game of the IPL, or you have joined your team, day before.
Yeah, one can criticize him for that, but yeah, I would say at least know the names, right?
Yeah. You can at least say only the names of people coming into the team. You need not say like people going out of the team. Obviously, it will be out in few moments anyway. So, yeah, let's get into the match, Manoj. Mumbai started the game probably much better than the previous games. They got good opening partnership between Rohit and Quinton de Kock. Quinton de Kock was quite aggressive at the beginning when Rohit was playing slow. Then Rohit picked up, and I think they got a pretty decent score in the power play. They got 53 runs. Without loss, they were at 55 at the end of 53 at the end of power play. So I was expecting them to score big because they have won the toss and they elected to bat. So, but then they ended up at 150 for 5. Your thoughts on Mumbai's batting, Manoj?
Yeah, I think credit to SRH bowlers. They really ball well to restrict them to 150. I don't know, de Kock and Rohit, they started really well, but then couldn't get going. Especially Rohit, he's getting starts nowadays, but not converting them. I don't know. You should really work on that. Obviously, Surya Kumar Yadav missed out, and then Ishan Kishan didn't make big runs. Hardik Pandya also. I think you can attribute this to the downfall of the lower middle order for MI.
Definitely, Manoj. I think they had quite a few collapses in the first 2 matches also. Their batting is not up to the mark somehow. Like, we all think if you say Mumbai, the first thing that comes to our mind is that strong batting order. But somehow this season, even till the 3rd match also, their batting was not up to the mark. Yeah, I think Vijay Shankar has done quite a bit of damage to their batting. If you say, like, he got 2 big wickets, he got Surya Kumar Yadav and Rohit, and it has put pressure on the balanced team. And it's quite unusual day for Ishan Kishan. Normally I haven't seen him going at so slow. Maybe there were times when he scored less in the first few balls and then he'll pick up, but overall after playing 20 balls also still he couldn't get going. It's some off day, but yeah, overall Vijay Shankar has put brakes to their momentum. Pollard's
Great catch by Johnny Bairstow to get Ishan Kishan out.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely. That was a really great catch. Pollard was struck at one end.
I mean, there was no partnership. Obviously, that's the reason why Pollard. I mean, though he slogged few at the back end.
Yeah.
Had he not scored those 2 sixes at the back end, they would have ended up, I think, maybe at 135 or something.
Yeah, one more turning point, if you ask me, was Vijay Shankar dropping Pollard in that 19th over. I think that's a big mistake, because there was no batsman coming after Pollard also. Like if there is a Hardik Pandya or Krunal Pandya who has to come after Pollard, then we can say if not him, they would have scored. But if Pollard got out there, Jahar would have come. So Pollard himself has scored 17 runs after dropping that catch. So that has really costed them, and especially the last 2 balls. We all know what Pollard is capable. But somehow yesterday he was not getting timing and all on this slow Chennai track. But 2 sixes of the last 2 balls, they couldn't ask more. And psychologically also they have reached 150, right? See, 139 or 140 would be completely different from what 150 sounds.
Correct.
So yeah, they
completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't a regulation catch. I mean, I understand if it was a difficult catch, dropping.
And Vijay Shankar is a good fielder for that matter. Actually, that's more surprising. He's a good fielder, but still he dropped it.
It was a drop in the standard, I would say. From Vijay Shankar. Yeah.
So let's move on to Sunrisers Hyderabad batting, and again they got a pretty good start, I would say. Bairstow, man, for some time, Manoj, I had a doubt whether Bairstow is batting in Mumbai and Warner is batting in Chennai. Are they both batting in the same pitch or not? So he ripped bowlers apart.
Strike rate is completely on the opposite sides for these.
Right. He was struggling to strike at 100, where Johnny Bairstow is hitting at 200 strike rate. But I couldn't understand whether same bowlers are bowling same pitch they are batting or not. But they got a pretty good start, and chasing 150, they got 57 in the power play. So from there, if you see, it's just a cakewalk for them. So I
think it's a suicide, right? To get yourself out by hitting the wicket.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a big turning point, I would say. I think that was big moment of the match, or game-changing moment of the match, I would say.
Yeah, like I said,
basically to attack the spinners, or probably not to get stumped. He was standing deep in the crease. I don't know whether he skidded a little bit, or I don't know what happened, but he hit wicket is one very unique thing to happen. But that changed the game completely.
It's the basic of the game, right? I mean, you can't go so deep that you get yourself out.
Especially when you are hitting so well and you are about to take your team home. Like
right. I mean, after Bairstow, when Bairstow got out, it's all downhill from there, right? I mean, we have not seen any.
There was no one sticking there and taking the match deep. Like, so even like last match, what happened, like David Warner got out probably in 13th over in the previous match. So this over, I mean, this match he got over in 12th over, and it changed completely. Like, I don't know what SRH needed.
I think if you look at how Warner got out, right? See, I have to blame Virat Singh here, because he's the one who called for the run and he's not going to the danger end, right? So Warner would have said, or in my opinion, should have said no, because there's a fielder there and you are running to the danger end. And the guy who called for the run is safe, right? And this is something that one should avoid. And this is not a 19th over last ball of the innings where you had to run, right? It's not the end of the world. So I think we have to blame Virat Singh here. Playing it to the fielder and then calling for a run is a big sin.
Definitely, Manoj. Probably Kane's return to the team will bring some stability in their batting order, because they badly need someone to stick there till the end and finish games for them. So once he's not fit, unfortunately. Probably, let's hope there is, I think, 3 more days gap for them for the next match. let's hope Kane will be back and he'll bring some new
I
momentum to the team.
I just think that they need some inspiration from somewhere to, especially the batting. Bowling, they're doing decent. They're doing well. I mean, in some matches they've done brilliantly, but bowling needs to step up. Batting needs to step up. For example, Manish Pandey. I mean, we all expect more from him. This is not the Manish Pandey that we know, and Vijay Shankar is not living up to his expectations. He is in the World Cup, man. So he has to perform. He had to take this game home for his team.
On scorecard, it may not come, but Hardik Pandya, if you ask me, has big influence on the outcome of this game. Like a brilliant throw from different ends for both Warner and Abdul Samad. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Yes,
I mean, both were the game-changing moments, if you ask me. And not to take away anything from Mumbai's bowlers. Amazing.
Bumrah and Bolt.
Yeah, Bumrah and Bolt. Their ball. I mean, killer bowling. I would say, like.
I mean, even if you have, let's say, 30 in the last four overs, Mumbai is one team which can defend it. I mean, definitely 100%.
Yeah, we have seen that in the three matches, Manoj. We have seen that in the three matches. Like in the last three matches, if I remember correctly, first match, they need to defend 19 of 12 balls. They couldn't defend. And second match also, they were supposed to defend 19 of 12 balls. They defended. And in this match, they have to defend 27 from 24 balls with SRH having 5 wickets in their hand. They still defended it. So
amazing.
So they are doing it 2 out of 3 times, and I don't think any other team can do it even 1 out of 3 times. So that's Mumbai for you.
Yep. And how well has Rahul Chahar bowled this match, especially? I was very impressed.
Even in the previous match, in the previous match he got 3 or 4 wickets, and this match he got 3 wickets. I think they are nailing it. Krunal Pandya and Rahul Chahar.
True.
I mean, in the middle overs, amazing. In fact, if you see scorecard, what Krunal has done would not have been reflecting there because of the 2 sixes that Vijay Shankar has hit. But other than that, he has put very much, good pressure on the SRH team, which made them lose wickets.
I think obviously teams will be thinking to target these bowlers, right? Okay, Bumrah, it's very hard, so let's keep him out. Bolt also bowls well, so let's target the other bowlers. And when other bowlers also start bowling well, you become demoralized, right? You don't find boundaries, and you feel the pressure. So that's what happened, I think, here in this match.
And it is quite unexpected also. It's like Mumbai, if you say, like, first comes batting and then you'll say fast bowling attack, and their spinners coming and putting pressure on opposition is what is making them winning. Probably it's definitely a function of the pitch that they have in Chennai. So no denying for that, but still they are able to use those conditions better, right? If you ask me, for the kind of bowling attack that SRH having, so Chennai is paradise for them, if you ask me, because the slow pitch, the kind of bowlers that they have, be it Bhuvaneshwar or Rashid Khan. So it's a paradise for them. They are unable to use those conditions, whereas Mumbai is using those conditions and winning matches after matches.
Agree. It's a tailor-made pitch for SRH, but obviously they are not making use of that. Agree.
I think we have covered quite a bit of ground here, and if you see one thing that we have been doing consistently, like our first IPL episode, we have covered 2 matches. Second IPL episode, we have covered 3. Now we have covered 4 matches. And one thing that has been consistent is only 2 of us are doing. So let's hope
full
Raja
marks for consistency.
Yeah, to us. So let's hope Raja also joins us, or we'll get a chance for all 3 of us to speak in our next episode, probably a midweek episode. And Manoj, how excited are you about today's doubleheader? First doubleheader of the season?
Yeah, first doubleheader. Really excited. Yeah, really looking forward to both the matches. Hope we get some nail-biting finishes to both these matches.
Yeah, Manoj. I'm also quite looking forward to today's matches. That's all for the episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us. Do follow us on Twitter @DCBW Podcast. Stay connected. Bye-bye.